In today's video, we will be solving quadratic equation using square roots. This method is used when our equation has no b value, has no b term. Again, if we remember our ax squared plus bx plus c, right? Or we use this method when there is no b term. So let's get straight into an example. So if we have m squared plus 6 equals 31. How are we going to solve this using the square roots method? We are simply going to try and isolate m. It's almost like algebra, right? So we're going to take away 6 from both sides. We're going to be left with m squared equals 25. And now we're going to square root. Because again, the aim is to we're going to square root both sides. Again, when we're square rooting, as you advance in math, you have to remember when you were in grade school or something like in kindergarten or in middle school, you probably would just square root this and you have m equals 5. And you'd be right. But as you go older and older and get into more math, you have to remember to have your plus minus sign in front of the square root. There's always that sign. It's always just implied there because it makes such a big difference in your answer. In what way? So we're going to have, right, the square roots are going to cancel each other. And the square root of 25 is a 5. But we have plus minus in front of it. So it could either be a plus 5 or minus 5. So m can equal both of these. And both are our right answers. Both of these are correct. Either one of these would work. If I go back to check and I plug in my 5 for the m, right? Again, it's going to be 5 times 5, right? Because it's going to be 5 squared plus 6 equals 31. 5 times 5, we have 25 plus 6, 31 equals 31. Again, 31 is equal to 31, so we get that right. Let's plug in negative 5. Again, we're still going to get a 25 plus 6 equals 31. So both of these are possible answers. If you give just one answer, you might get marks taken off. Okay, we're going to do another example, and we're going to be done. So we're going to have 4n squared minus 8 equals 48. Again, just like we're doing algebra, we're going to add 8 to both sides. We're going to be left with 1n squared equals 56. We're going to divide both sides by 4. And then we're going to be left with n squared equals to 14. Now we're going to square root both sides. Remember your plus minus. It's really, really important. We're going to be left with n equals, what's the square root of 14? That's really hard, right? It's going to be some decimal. So usually you can just leave it with a plus minus square root of 14. If you just left it with n equals square root of 14 without the plus minus, again, that implies something else and you could get some marks taken off. Add the plus minus. I think in whatever you do, it's just easier to add a plus minus. Now, you could, however, do n equals square root of 14 and also do n equals negative square root of 14. And this 2 would be your answer, and then you would get it right. But if you don't want to go through the hassle of writing it twice, just put plus minus in front, and then you're good to go. Now, one thing I want to mention, that if you have a negative inside the square root, it's simply no solution. You can't have a square root negative 14, a square root negative 100 billion. That doesn't work, so it's just going to simply be a no solution. So if you ever find yourself with that, just know that is not going to work, and that equals a no solution. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys understood what is happening. There's going to be instructions and steps to follow in the description box, so check that out if you are stuck, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.